Hello guys, this is Reza and welcome to our Python tutorials. In this tutorial we're going to talk about numbers, but in order to talk about them we need to go through some examples. As you know, numbers are one of the primitive types in Python. Primitive types are numbers, strings, and Boolean values. Today we're going to talk about numbers. Imagine that we have got a variable called num1 and we will give the value of 10, for example, to it. Then we have another variable called num2 and we will give value 5 to it. For example, imagine that we have got a variable called result and we are going to do some operations on num1 and num2. We can add num1 to num2 and then imagine that we want to print the results. So if we run this program, as you can see we have 15. Number 1 is added to number 2. We could even add something else to it, for example 25, so the results would be 40 if we run the program. As you can see, we can also have other mathematical operators like minus. As you can see, we can multiply two numbers, or we can divide two numbers. As you know, the division result of num1 and num2 is 2. And the division result is a float number, is a whole number. So if it was 3, as you can see, this is the result, 3.3. But what if we wanted the remaining? We could have that by using the percent sign. So in this way we will have the remaining of 10 divided by 3. As you know, the remaining would be 1. Let's test it. And as you can see, we have 1 as the final result. These are the basic mathematic operations that we can do on the numbers, and of course we can print the results. But if we wanted to print the results having some message before that, we could do something like this. The result is, for example, but is it possible to concatenate a number to a string? For sure not. And as you can see, it gives you error. It says that int is not a string, so we cannot concatenate them together. But how can we do that? By using str function, which is a pre-built function available for you, you can change result into string, and then you can concatenate it to another string. So now we can have the result is 1. If it was a plus, you could have 13 as a result here. So as you can see, you can change the numbers by using this function str into strings. And of course, when we do operations on the numbers, we know that we can do them even on whole numbers. So if it was, for example, 10.55, and then we wanted to add it to num2, of course we could have the reason 13.55. So you can do all these operations on whole numbers and integer numbers. But there are also some other functions that you can do on the numbers. There are some pre-built libraries that you can implement on the numbers. But what are those? For example, you can have the maximum between some numbers. For example, we want to check the maximum between number 1 and number 2. So we will use the keyword max and then num1, comma, num2. These are the parameters that we can insert into a function, and this function takes the parameters, does some action on them, and returns a value. About functions, you can watch our video in details about how to create your own functions. But now in this tutorial, we're going to talk about the pre-built functions available in Python 3 library. You could even have other values, for example 15, and then the maximum here would be 15, the result. If we didn't have this 15, what is the maximum between num1 and num2? Of course, it is 10.55, and you can see the number here. We could even have the minimum number. In this way, if we run this program, you can see 3 is chosen. We could do everything even on the negative numbers. If we take the minimum, you can see minus 10.55 is chosen. We have another pre-built function which is called the absolute value. So for num1, the absolute value of minus 10.55 is, as you can see, 10.55. Of course, for num2, the absolute value is the same, remains 3. We can even mix two functions. For example, we can have the maximum of absolute value of number 1 and number 2. If we wanted to see the maximum between num1 and num2, it was absolutely number 3. But the maximum between absolute values is 10.55, as you can see here. So there are a lot of pre-built functions that you can find on python.org website. You can check them and you can use them if you like. There is also a library called Math Library, on which you also have a lot of functions available, and you can check on Python Math Library to see what capabilities exist for you. This was our tutorial about numbers. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and encourage us to create more videos. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the comments below. I will answer them as soon as I can. Have fun and don't forget to practice.